Okay, so today we had the intention of going out to approach golfers at various golf courses around the area. The object or the aim was to inform them that we had been creating a new app for golfers, detecting the Coriolis effect on courses depending on whether they were north-south facing or east-west facing. The whole point was satire, as I say, and to trigger people to give us the response that they have never taken the Coriolis effect into consideration while playing golf. That was the aim. We've done this today and it's a Monday. The weather was not the greatest, so unfortunately there was not many golfers around. So we decided to just go into the town and ask some people randomly various questions about the subject, regarding the shape of the earth. And this is what we achieved today. So what's your name, man? Gregor.
Nice to meet you, mate.
How you doing? I'm going to ask Gregor some questions here, see what kind of responses he gives. Okay. What we're doing a bit of market research on golf, players and people who play golf. Now we get some inside knowledge on why people like Tiger Woods and stuff were so successful.
Right.
And one of the things that came to us was that they take into account a thing called the Coriolis effect.
Right.
Now, what the clever scientists are telling us is that the Earth spins from east to west, west to east, whatever it is, at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. There's a thing called the Coriolis effect where they say that snipers and any object that's leaving the Earth's surface is affected by the movement of the Earth.
Right.
So, we're saying to people, well, guys like Tiger Woods are obviously taking this into account, is why they're so accurate. Have you ever considered that and what it actually is?
Not really, to be fair. It's not something that's brought to your attention for me, it's just accepted.
Just accepted it? You ever felt the Earth spin?
Nah. Oh, but a hangover.
but you've never detected any motion, any movement?
Oh, no.
Have you ever questioned the whole thing that you were told that you lived on a globe?
Not really questioned it, you just kind of, I don't know, you get told it enough of that many folk that you just go it, you just roll it, right, that's what it is.
School, nursery
exactly,
school,
you're just told
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But did it ever make sense to you? Did you ever question it as you were growing up?
You always, I don't know, I've always kind of watched these documentaries and all that, and you always kind of, you question it, but you don't know enough about it to have an argument against it.
Yeah. So how would you feel if I had said to you that there's absolutely zero pictures from space that are real, genuine pictures?
I don't know, like, I could believe that because when you do see stuff here, it's hard to take it as real. You're used to seeing it, so you accept it. But if there's an argument against it, I don't know, I'm open to believing that stuff.
Yeah. But you think it would be a wee bit suspicious that there's zero real pictures?
Aye, that would be a bit suspicious, I think.
Yeah. But that's the reality of the situation.
But I mean, I don't understand why that's what we've been told, you know what I mean? Like why?
Well, part of the process is understanding that a government or religious institutions will have people in control. So if you can tell people where they live is all that exists, you make it a sphere, then people automatically think, well, everything's been discovered, there's nowhere else, there's nothing else there. Right? But what we've started finding is looking into it is that there's absolutely zero proof that we live on a globe. There's no motion detectable, that they've not been to space, and that things like they tell you that space is a vacuum, so can we live in a positive pressure system? So there seems to be a lot of deception going on here about where we actually live, because if you can take the foundations away from people, then they don't know where they are, or confusion. So,
I think it's just one of those things, you get told it enough so you just, that's it. You get these folk that study for years, and they tell you what it is, so you just accept that because you don't know enough about it.
It's a pretty sad state though, isn't it?
It's quite sad, I think.
But people are not even questioning where they're actually living.
Yeah, you just told it, and it's like someone coming up to you and telling you where they are, what they do, but it could be a
So if you don't have the foundations of where you are, what is your life? Everything you tell yourself in your life is pretty much fucked.
Yeah.
You don't even know where you are.
That's a fair point.
But you've all these people telling you what life's about, how you live your life. So there's loads of these anomalies, and the whole thing points towards that it's not a globe and it can never be a globe. It's against nature. So
I mean, I've got not arrogant to it, but I don't, it's just something you don't think about. But I mean, when you hear arguments against it, you're easily swayed because it just takes one person to say, look, that's a lot of rubbish, and then you go, do it.
We're doing stuff within.
I mean, I've never had
Doing stuff within the.
That's a side that I've never heard. So I'm not. You hear that, you do. There's as much evidence to say that actual truth than is for who you told about it.
Well, that unfortunately, that's the point.
It just takes. I think it takes more of a larger group of people to go against the other argument and look into it, and then you start other things to come up.
Chief, I says to you, flat earth, what image do you get in your mind? If I says to you, like, flat earth, the earth's flat, do you have an image in your mind about what that would look like?
Not really, to be fair, like, I think it's just drilled in your head from the just as old and you've always just come round and back round to where it starts almost from this job. And that's just belief.
Hi, Jim.
Oh, I don't know.
But you've never done any of these things. The whole point is to try to show people,
Yeah.
like, don't take anything for granted. Question everything that's ever told you, and then go by your own experience and trust your senses. So thank you very much for your time. If you get a wee poster or something, we can get a wee advert and stuff.
This is all my stuff here. I don't know if that's to come up. If that's true.
Greg's a busker and does some music, so.
Where to find me if I'm not in the street.
Do you believe you live on a round sphere?
I do,
Why?
because that's what I've been told.
Through school?
Yeah, just education, I suppose.
Yeah. Would it shock you if I told you that there's absolutely zero real pictures from space and there's zero video footage from space?
So what is it we see then on the telly?
CGI,
Which is,
computer generated images that are now openly admitting. They're now openly admitting that they had never went to the moon. And the whole purpose of the moon, as far as people are concerned, was so that they could convince people that they lived on a sphere. That's no reality.
so why do they want to convince us of that then?
Well, it's simple.
What you could say?
Say I've got you here and I want you to be my slave.
Right.
Now you being a human being have got a curious explorer mind. Now, if I want to keep you here, I need to tell you that where I have you is the only thing that exists. The way to achieve that is to tell you that you're living on a sphere. So it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to end up back where you started again, so there's no point in you going.
Alright,
Right? Does that make sense to you?
it does make sense.
If I told you that natural science, real scientific exploration and experimentation proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Earth can never be a sphere, and that all the evidence and proof points to it being a flat stationary plane,
And where is the scientific evidence? Why don't we see it?
because what they've done is, if I say to you, well, you say you believe you lived on a sphere,
Yeah.
and you say because they told you,
Right.
it's because all bodies of water, scientific fact of reality, must be contained. They do not conform to the exterior of shapes. You understand
I
that?
understand that,
You
yeah.
know that any liquid has to be in a glass, a tube, a bathtub, a basin, a swimming pool, a lake, a dam. Would you think the oceans would behave any differently?
Well, is it not all the ocean then? If it wasn't contained.
Yeah. So that tells you that at the perimeters there has to be a containment of some kind. Yeah, because you know that water is flat and level.
Right.
Always. Doesn't matter the scale of it.
That brings back the theory of us not living in a sphere.
Yes.
So we must be contained
Yes.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And the purpose of this is what? To control us?
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
Well, the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour on its axis, firing around the sun at 65,000 miles an hour, while the sun's doing 500,000 miles an hour.
Right.
Have you ever felt any motion?
No.
Of course you've not, 'cause it doesn't move. There's absolutely zero scientific experiment that's been done to prove that the Earth moves. It's stationary.
Right?
Aeroplanes are called aeroplanes because they fly flat parallel. Right? They don't fly with their nose dipped down because they're published in the air.
Right, okay, alright. It all makes logical sense.
Of course.
Is any of this information going to harm us in any way?
What?
Any of this scientific proof that's coming out?
No, it's actually it enlightens people,
Right.
makes people feel better because there's two states of mind as far as I'm concerned. One state of mind is this: you're a space monkey, right? That evolved from monkeys.
Okay.
You're on a round rock. that happen to be accidental chance. There's no meaning to it.
Right.
You're just spinning endlessly through the void of space.
Right.
The other state of mind is that it's all deliberate.
Right.
This is the centre of creation. This is where you're meant to be. Everything moves around us,
Right. Okay.
and that you're important.
I
So-
quite like that.
For a controller, you want them in the opposite state of mind. You want them feeling insignificant,
Yep.
little, no meaning to them, and then they can be controlled. They'll just go about their daily life without question.
Okay.
So that's the significance here, that's the importance here. And I would say to people, why do you think they went to such great lengths to convince you that you're doing this way? That's where the big question is.
That has to be controlled, doesn't it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But who is trying to control us?
Well, the institutions, the elites, the people who have the wealth and the power. The interesting thing is, what is it they're hiding?
Yeah.
Because in the Antarctic and the North Pole, you're not allowed to go there yourself. If you go 60 degrees south or 60 degrees north with food supplies and extra fuel, you'll be dealt with accordingly. Because you're not supposed to be there unless you've got a grant to be there and you're funded by the appropriate authorities to be there.
Right.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Quite in line.
Huh?
Quite
Is
in
it-
line.
is it
But
about the question?
I'll question things.
Good.
Definitely.
That's the whole point, it's just to get people questioning, asking.
When you've achieved your
Thank you very much.
name, I
you.
will question.
Thanks, Nancy. So what we've done was we created an app for golfers. We've done some research, we've got some inside information that Tiger Woods and guys like that were so successful because they took into consideration a thing called the Coriolis effect. Have you ever heard of the Coriolis effect? What scientists will tell you is that the Earth is a round sphere and that it spins at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. Now they'll tell you that when objects leave the Earth, they're affected by the spin of the Earth. Do you think that's reality? Don't know much about that. If I asked you if you believe that you live on a ball, what would your response be? You know that they tell you live on a ball. You think it would be quite shocking if I told you that there is absolutely zero pictures and video from space that are real?
I believe you.
There's none that are real.
None at all.
None.
So they all been made in the air and then being makes it look like it's ready to move.
Because you can't get out this sky solid up there. It's solid. That's why the stars don't.
There is no wind either.
No.
So why the flag is flagging if there's no wind?
Well, I never went to it.
Of course, somewhere.
Never went to it.
There was somewhere in America they made it look like if there
Yeah,
was.
so you know that. So you're aware of that then. Yeah, good. That's
I
good.
saw probably on television.
Yeah. It's being released now that people are live about these things. So the thing is that the Earth is not a globe. How does that make you feel?
Different than what you thought it was, isn't it?
Well, if I say this to you, that they tell you that the Earth is covered 80% water. Now we know that water seeks its own level,
Yes.
and that it will form the shape of its container. Water will never conform to the exterior of a shape.
Something's not quite right
not right.
anywhere. Something's not quite right.
The oceans are like big ponds, they're large ponds.
It looks like it.
Yeah, they lie parallel and flat, but we have an optical problem when we're viewing over distance where things get smaller and they vanish. Now they play on the optical effects to tell you that the ship's going over the curvature of the Earth.
Just
That's
say that.
not what's happening. Yeah. So you've never considered that question?
No. I've never been asked either.
And you're thinking about it now?
I'm just thinking about that. I'm just thinking about the way you have told me this and that. Yeah. That's the
So
way.
if I say to you, there's absolutely zero proof that we live on a globe. All the scientific proof tells us that we're stationary and flat.
And as I say, something never.
All about.
No. I have to be honest. No.
Have you ever felt the Earth spin? Have you ever felt any motion?
Apart the earthquakes. No.
Earthquakes. Or when you've had a few drinks?
No, I don't think at all. No.
Oh, that's good. That's
No.
Aye. Well, thank you very much for that, Antonio. That was good of you just to react.
Guys, it's a pleasure. I'm sorry I couldn't help you much.
Right, what we've done is we've been researching, we've created an app for golf. We've done some research and we got some inside information about why guys like Tiger Woods and stuff are so successful. And one of the things that came to us was the fact that it takes into account a thing called the Coriolis effect. Have you ever heard of the Coriolis effect? Scientists will tell you that the Earth spins at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, but depending on what longitudinal line you're on, if you're in the north or the south, the ball can be deflected left or right. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it play?
No, I've never seen bad golf. I've seen
But do you think it would ever be taken into account that it was a spin of the Earth that was creating any flaws in the shot? Have you ever felt the Earth move? Do you think that it does move? Can I ask you why?
I just think it is. I've read about it, so.
So it's coming from authority and institutions and stuff to, to tell people that in school and but so they tell you the Coriolis effect, like a sniper or objects leaving the Earth would be affected by a left to right movement, obviously with the Earth spinning. So depending on what way the golf course is laid out, that can have an effect. So we're just trying to gather information to see if people are aware of that, and would they be interested in an app that tells them what direction the golf courses are facing, whether it's north to south, east to west. Do you think people would be interested in that?
Possibly, aye.
Because if they don't know it's affecting their game, then well, this is what we're trying to gather. If people have ever been aware when you take a shot that there's any movements left to right that you can never account for, that
I just put it down to not hitting the ball right.
so it's no handing straight.
Yeah.
Well, how would you feel if I suggested to you that the Earth was actually still and it never moved?
I probably believe you, aye.
Well, if I asked you, do you believe it's round? A globe? You don't?
No.
Right, this is good, because this is where we're going.
Yeah.
Are you aware that there is absolutely zero pictures or video from space that are real?
I just thought it would have been real.
None of them are real.
None of them.
None of them. There's not one. There's spacewalks and stuff have been filmed in pools with air bubbles rising through the pool and stuff like this. So this is part of the investigation and what we're trying to ask
There's a lot of
people.
lies in.
Well, this is it. This is what happens with institutions when they get that kind of power. And they get people believing through the TV that these images are real. Same as the moon landings. I mean, people really think that in 1967 we fired a rocket 238,000 miles away from the moon, landed first time and then came back. But you've now got companies like NASA saying, well, we're trying hard to achieve back beyond low Earth orbit. Basically telling you that the fake moon landings back in the 60s and all that stuff has been now falsified. NASA miraculously lost all the tapes. So people like me are you engineered wise, mechanically thinking?
Mechanical thinking, aye.
See if I was to say to you, if we dug a huge hole and we used water to fill the hole to find if that hole was level, would that make sense to you?
Possibly.
So if I says to you a body of water will always be flat and it will always seek its own level, does that make sense to you?
I wouldn't imagine it always be flat.
Well, there's motion on it, but the body of water will seek its own level. It always has to be some sort of container, tub, swimming pool, bathtub, lake, dam. Do you think the oceans would be any different?
Possibly. Possibly.
See, the point I'm making with that is that the sphere, the globe Earth, you've got vast oceans curving round the outside of this sphere. Now in reality and in science they know how liquids behave. They seek to maintain their own level, they can only ever be contained within a container. If you try and get a body of water to conform to the exterior any shape, it's just not going to happen. So this is one of the other reasons why we know that the line is about the shape of the Earth. Can I ask you how you feel about these things?
The golf app I've really interested in, but I've never had that much thought, to be honest.
But the thing is what they're hiding from is because you're not allowed to go to Antarctica, you're not allowed to go to the North Pole, and it's protected by military. The people like me and you can't just go there. You can't go 60 degrees south or 60 degrees north without a permit. You're not allowed rations, you're not allowed extra fuel. Some people suspect that there's other ponds like ours beyond these places. Rather than it being up there in outer space. Because they tell you that there's a vacuum up there. But we know again in science that two opposing pressure systems can't exist side by side and get a solid barrier. When you have equilibrium, if you get a vacuum and a positive pressure system next to each other, it's going to equilibrate. Well, good. Thanks very much for your time, man.
Hey, cheers, pal.
Thank you. Cheers. None of them take gravity into the equation, and none of them take curvature into the equation because there isn't any curvature, because we don't live on a sphere.
Just thinking for what?
Of course it is.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Oh,
I can
this is-
respect your opinion.
Thank you. 24,000 miles.
And you're going with the almost sphere, the squash sphere.
A plate spheroid that they tell you. So they say it's squashed at the poles,
So I
it's
believe.
slightly wider. This is what they tell you. Now, how would you feel if I says this to you? There is absolutely zero, none, real pictures from space. No video, no pictures, none of them are real.
The point of the fact I've never been there to witness it myself,
Thank
you could be talked into that. A different person could be talked into it.
Exactly.
I believe.
So, but you understand and you believe it because of the images that they show you. So does it not shock you that none of the images are real?
I think these images are.
Well, why do you think that?
It's just a case of why do you think that?
Why do you think
I
they're
think
real?
I just accept them. I think I'm quite I trust.
You trust them. No, that's all. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for an honest answer. The fact is that NASA tell you on their website that the images they're showing you are computer generated. None of them are real. They tell you they're images. They don't tell you they're photographs. They've done that deliberately because then they could be held accountable for misinforming people.
To what end would they do that?
Well, here's the thing. If you are in control and power, right? If you've got a group of people who you want to control and keep within your control, the first thing that you're going to have to do is convince them that the place you're keeping them in is the only thing that exists. Now, if you create a sphere in people's minds, then that's where they live. The foundations of where they think they are is false. They think they're on a sphere, way after. There's nothing else left to discover, so the chances are they're just going to stay still and accept the life that you offer them. Right? That's the tool, that's the reason why they've done it.
I'm happy with that.
Some people are happy with that. People like me are not happy with it.
Candace and Zoo times.
Because I want to go wrong. So, you know, I
I'm quite
accept
happy with it.
the globe.
I'm quite happy with the globe, and I'm quite happy that folk have navigated their way around it and flown around it.
There's never been circumnavigations from north to south.
Aye, there must have been.
Never been.
I don't believe you.
Check it out, mate. This is a good thing though, because I don't want you to believe me. I want you to trust your own senses and do your own. Well, I know that you maybe know you don't care, but that's what I say to people.
I don't care. Everybody cares about something, you know.
Of course they do.
But I kind of probably accept what I hear. I mean,
So, you know,
enough to worry about.
I know you have, and that's a problem. You know, people have got their everyday lives and stuff that contain them, and you know, they've got stuff to worry about. People like me are different, so. But this is good because this is the reactions we need. Listen, after 2 years of ridicule, man. You know, this is it's not going to bother
Usually
me.
at 3:30 in the morning I have these conversations with this guy.
You never wonder why they never change. Styles, you, what's the move in relation to each other? They're always the same.
I like that.
Because they're fixed.
Right.
So here's the thing, two opposing pressure systems, say you've got a vacuum, you've got a positive pressure system. In reality, yet again, science, observation, testing, we know that we need to have a solid barrier between the two of them or they'll equilibrate.
Right.
That's a fact of reality. So why is it different? Again, when it gets to the bigger scale,
Absolutely.
every rocket launch goes up, leans out, and it goes away out to sea. You see the bit of sea that they dumped them in? They called it the Bermuda Triangle. Why do you think they called it the Bermuda Triangle?
You've got me there. Is it because it's near Bermuda and it's a triangle?
No, it's because see if me and you were out there and we seen something we shouldn't have, we're just going to shoot you out the water. And then when people ask questions, where did the ship or the plane go? Oh,
Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda Triangle. Because they seen and they witnessed something that they shouldn't have witnessed, because it's part of the deception. They fire these rockets up, ditch them in the sea, watch it now, see when you look at all the footage, they show you that, and then they cut the CGI, computer generated images, oh we're in space now. Honestly,
You're brilliant.
honestly man. This is it's the truth. They're releasing it now. See, I know you're laughing. And
I'm not laughing, it's just
No.
that
I know.
I have these conversations at 3 o'clock in the morning, I say, and you go, you think nothing wrong with that. Perfectly safe.
These guys have been paid to tell these fucking lies, right? It's absolutely ridiculous and total nonsense that people believe that in 1967 they fired a rocket the first time, never tried it before. Oh, we made it all the way to the moon. While they're on the phone to Nixon, 238,000 miles away, on the moon speaking to Nixon, you know, And the reason people believe it's because they've seen it on the telly.
I need to get back in the walk now, you minute.
Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate the honesty.
Good
and
fun, actually.
Aye.